Hello everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to your October 2025 monthly forecast. So this is just like the beginning of the tape. Your forecast is after this tape, okay? Those of you who are new to my channel. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, okay? And click on the notification bell. You'll be notified each time I upload something. Also, there is information in the description box below. There's a link to something called Ask Me a Question, which is for those of you who only want to know maybe one or two things about your chart. There's also a link to my website, and you can also just email me and ask me whatever it is you would like to know at zanezodiac@gmail.com. Okay? So, and a special thank you to all my subscribers, okay? Thank you for commenting and sharing and liking and your donations. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate everything you guys do for me. Okay, and also everyone, remember that the weekly forecasts are now daily shorts, and there aren't always aspects between the planets every single day. Okay, so there won't be a video every day. So anyways, hey, special shout out, happy birthday to Libra and Scorpio. So, let's see here. The month starts off with Mercury moving into Scorpio on the 6th, and there's also a full moon on the 6th in Aries. On the 13th, Venus moves into Libra, also on the 13th. Pluto in Aquarius turns direct. On the 21st, there's a new moon in Libra. And on the 22nd, Mercury, that is still in Aries in retrograde motion, falls back finally into Pisces and finishes out its transit in Pisces and then moves into Aries fully at the beginning of next year. Okay? So then also on the 22nd, the sun moves into Scorpio, and on the 29th, Mercury moves into Sagittarius. So now for your forecast. Hi, Aries. So this is that time of year again where planets are in your opposite sign of Libra. Okay? It's not a whole lot going on, though. In like previous years, you always had to deal with too many things at one time. But right now, all there is the sun in Libra. Okay, up until the 22nd, Venus moves into Libra on the 13th. And there's a new moon in Libra on the 21st. Okay, all in your 7th house where you have the sign of Libra. Okay, it's directly across from your 1st house of Aries. 1st house of personality and self, right? 7th house is naturally ruled by Libra. It's the partnership house. It's business, romantic, friendship, partner. It's also the house of arrangements and agreements, open enemies, competition, consulting experts, things like that. But it is the marriage house, commitment, stuff like that, okay? So that could be actually what's going on within your life right now, especially around this new moon of the 21st. You could have like a new beginning within a relationship. It could be a new start, especially after like, Mercury moves into Scorpio on the 6th, but up until that point, it's still in Libra, like since last month. So it's still in your 7th house, and you've already been having discussions, with one of your close relationships at least, If you would like to make changes there, that's all that, this is for. These are all really nice planets to have right here at this time. The only little bit of a drawback is there's a full moon in your sign, okay, on the 6th. And you still have Neptune in your sign right now. It is retrograde, and it will fall back into Pisces on the 22nd. Okay, see, over the summer, Aries had both Neptune and Saturn leave Pisces and move into their sign, move into Aries, okay? And now both of these planets have retrograded back into Pisces so they can finish out their transit there, but they will move into Aries at the beginning of next year. Okay, so you got a little bit of a preview over the summer of what to expect possibly, okay, with these two planets in your sign. So, up until that point, though, okay, Neptune is still in your sign up until the 22nd, and the full moon is in your sign on the 6th. So you may, a little bit of a combination of these planets together, Neptune and the moon, you know, you may have, I don't know, suspected something was going on within one of your relationships. Um, Maybe you thought someone was lying to you, or not lying, but just not saying something, which is sometimes like the same thing. You know, not revealing something maybe they should, you know. But that's just a feeling. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's true, okay? But it could come out around that full moon. A full moon does bring problems to the surface so you can deal with it, right? And do away with it. You never have to worry about it again. So that's what this is for. If you have any qualms, you know, within one of your close relationships, or some kind of an arrangement maybe that you made with someone that you're having second thoughts about, maybe you want to change it. You know, maybe it's not working out as well as you thought it would, or it sounded good, looked good on paper and sounded good when you were talking about it, but now that you're both trying to do this, it's just not what you thought it would be. Something like that. So now would be the time to do that, around that full moon. By the time the new moon comes on the 21st in your 7th house there, everything should be kind of like squared away, you know. Also, with both Saturn and Neptune falling back into Pisces in your 12th house again, like I said, to finish up their transit there, you know, you won't have to deal so much with a little bit of secrecy when it comes to possibly like depression, or just, you know, feelings of, I don't know, possibly being alone, something like that. You know, having Saturn in the 12th house, no matter what sign it's in, when it's transiting there, it just brings up these fears you never had before. Totally out of the blue. A lot of times they're not even real. Okay, so when this planet leaves, you won't have that so much anymore. You know what I mean? The 12th house is the subconscious mind. It's the house of dreams also, and the house of self-undoing. That's why they call it that, because you can literally drive yourself crazy, okay, with your own mind. You don't need any help from anyone else. But anyway, so these planets, when they leave here, you won't have to deal with that again. They will be in your first house, though, and we'll get into that whenever these planets move here. I'll do videos on it. Anyway, so, you know, when planets are... I do have to just mention very briefly, okay, Venus, before it moves into Libra on the 13th, is still in Virgo up until the 13th of this month. And it's in your 6th house of the workplace. Okay, the workplace, the kind of work that you do, your co-workers, your house of health, and your house of service to others. So a lot of times when Venus is here, it does, as far as your health goes, it makes you attracted to sweets, maybe partying a little bit more, eating a little bit more than you normally would. But it brings really nice relationships, like with your co-workers. Things at work seem to be going fairly well. And, you know, just whatever. You may have just, if you were on a diet, you may have just gone off your diet for a while. And then Venus moves into Libra on the 13th. Okay, so with the Sun in Scorpio from the 22nd on, Mercury in Scorpio from the 6th till like the 29th, and then it moves into Sagittarius in your 9th house, but I'll cover that next month because it's only the last few days of the month, so it's not really going to affect you that much. You will, though, have a, if you're born like the first maybe 3 days of Aries, you will have a very nice trine from this Mercury, and you could get a lot of news on that day, because some of it long distance, okay? But anyways, with the Sun and Mercury moving into Scorpio, and Mars already in Scorpio since last month, in your 8th house of other people's money and resources, jointly held property and jointly held debt, passive money through means other than earning it, like a insurance payout, refund of some kind, legal settlement, could even be an inheritance or legacy of some kind, increase in credit on your credit cards, or increase in a bank loan, something like that. So, you know, this all this is well, Mars is your natural ruler, and it is also the natural ruler of Scorpio. So it does well when it's in Scorpio, in your 8th house. 8th house is naturally ruled by Scorpio. So these planets here, you know, it's just kind of, this is also the house of regeneration, death, and rebirth. Okay, this is could possibly be a time where you stop doing something. You may stop like a bad habit of some kind, and you know, decide to take up even possibly like something from another culture. Let's say like yoga or transcendental meditation, TM. You know, I think that's coming back now. Stuff like that. You may decide to take up something like that, and that's an intergalactic phone call. Just ignore it, please. Anyways, that you know, that's just partly what this house is for, but it's mainly a money house. Okay, so you could really just be going after money that is yours, that is due you in some way or other, especially a refund. You may like check out your bank statements and credit card statements. I don't see any problems with them, but possibly it's just always a good idea to do something like that. Make sure that the bill you're getting or going to pay is correct, right? And somebody could actually just, you could inherit at this time, or somebody could just give you something. You know, it could be something that maybe you've borrowed in the past, and this person doesn't want it anymore, so they may just give it to you or whatever. But you're on the receiving end of something. It could be like totally out of the blue, you know. I do have to mention that Pluto in Aquarius does turn direct on the 13th, and that is happening in your 11th house of friends and acquaintances, socializing in person or online, any group or organization that you belong to, and also the house of dreams, hopes, and wishes. So there could be somebody within your group of friends, okay? Pluto governs power, powerful people. Could be coming into your life. You just had Pluto in your 10th house, which made you very influential to large groups of people. Okay, now that could be carrying over into your 11th house here. And with these planets in Scorpio in your 8th house of other people's resources, you may be given something to, you know, proceed, even if it's like a company credit card or something. If you are part of some kind of organization or some kind of movement, you know, that's more than likely for social change in some way or other, you'll probably be given the assets that you need in order to do that. It's not coming out of your own pocket, okay? So the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Aries on the 6th and 7th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Libra, and those dates are the 19th, 20th, and 21st. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, gambling, and speculation, and anything to do with children is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 14th, 15th, 16th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. The best time for money is the 8th, 9th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. The best time for your career is the 1st, 26th, 27th, and 28th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 10th, 11th, 24th, 25th, and 26th. So I hope you enjoyed your forecast for October. Happy Halloween. See ya.